Okay, I am headed to Middlebury. It's Friday, the 14th of March, 2025. Apologize, my voice might sound a little bit raspy. I definitely got whatever cold my daughter has. I always get it. Whenever my kids get sick, I get it because they're breathing on me and stuff like that. So I knew it was coming. I feel it's pretty rough, like as far as like the throat and nose and all that. So I feel terrible for my daughter. She's only 1.5. She can't really communicate, fully what's going on and stuff. So now I kind of have an idea of the misery she was in. But I kind of felt it coming on yesterday, so I knew it was coming. And then by like midnight, like in the middle of the night, I woke up and I'm like, oh yeah, it's here. So this morning I woke up feeling terrible, but for me, when I'm sick, I try to not do anything different. For whatever reason, I feel like that's my best way of getting through a sickness. Try to just keep my day going the same exact way it would, and I feel like as the day goes on, I feel better. So like as of right now, I woke up this morning, I had to make my daughter's lunch, get my stuff ready to go out on the road. I will say I slept in like a little bit because like I said, I was feeling crappy, so I slept till like 6. But I woke up, I went to the gym, got a workout in, and then I got out on the road. So I feel a lot better than I did when I woke up, but that's pretty much my routine. I try not to like miss the gym, and try not to keep myself from like doing, if it was summertime and I had to cut the grass or something, like I would still get the grass cut and do whatever I have to do. And I just feel like for me, it allows me to kind of work through the sickness and stuff like that. I know everybody's different, but so it's not like I was going to cancel my load for today or anything. I can either sit in my truck and be miserable, or I can sit on my couch at home and be miserable, and might as well make some money while being miserable. So I think I've got a pretty large travel trailer coming out of Coachman. I think I pulled one maybe last week or the week before of the same model. I want to say it's like a 37-foot travel trailer, maybe like around 8,000 pounds, 7,500, something like that. It's a hot load, meaning they want it right away, and it's going to Sterling, Illinois, which is where I went on Sunday. It's not a very high-paying load. I think it's like $460. The second shortest run that we do. So good news is I should make it there and home before the bad weather rolls in, because it is a short load. Bad news, it doesn't pay that well. I've had 3 middle of the road or shorter loads for the week, so I think I'm only going to be in that $1,500 to $1,600 range. I don't know that I'm going to get a 4th load in, probably not, because I got some stuff to do this weekend. And the bad weather is supposed to stick around until like tomorrow afternoon. So as I thought about just going tomorrow morning, getting the trailer and delivering it, but I have a feeling the wind is going to be really bad in the morning still, and it's just not worth, to deal with the high winds and stuff for an extra $500-600. It's just, I'd rather just skip out this week and just do the 3 loads, to be honest. Or like the potential of getting stuck somewhere and having to pull over and just sit in my truck on a weekend rather than being home. It's just not worth the risk. Not worth having to sit around. If something changes with my plans, maybe Saturday night or Sunday, I'll pick up a load. But I'm thinking it's a 99% chance that I'm not going to be running. So, trying to think. So yesterday was the first 5th wheel. I wasn't able to do the Missouri run down to like Lake of the Ozarks. Good thing I didn't try to push it, because now I'm sick, my wife's sick, my daughter's sick, so would have been pretty miserable trying to do all that. But next month I can make a run, because I think this coming week will not work because I got a training for my business Thursday, Friday, and then I think the following week I'm gonna be in Florida for spring break. We have a family condo down in southern Florida that we go to as often as we can. So I think we're gonna spend like 7 or 8 days, maybe 10, I don't remember, in Florida, and then come back maybe in April we can do a run to Missouri. But I am going back to Florida for a Disney World trip, like mid-April, so we'll see. But I do have plans. I do want to get that longer run. I do want to get down to Lake of the Ozarks and maybe spend a weekend, so it'd be cool to take a load there, deliver it, and then kind of hang out for the weekend. So that is on my plan. I think that's pretty much all. There was something I wanted to put in the video, and I do not remember what it is. So I filled up yesterday in southern Wisconsin, so I'm still at 99% fuel. I'll probably be somewhere in that 85% range when I get to pick up the travel trailer. Unfortunately, going out to like Sterling area, I'm not gonna probably be able to fill up for decent price because it's Illinois. It'll be better than like Middlebury probably, because I'm gonna guess they're still sitting, even with my fuel app, probably around like $3.25 a gallon. I might be able to get it a little bit cheaper out by like the Sterling area, but I don't know if I'm even gonna need fuel. It's gonna depend on the wind. It usually, so the only downside to doing this run is heading west towards like Rockford and stuff in Illinois. Like, it is just always windy. So even though I'm beating the bad weather, like, it's still gonna be windy. So I might use more fuel, and I'm gonna have a not gigantic, but I'm gonna have a large travel trailer, so it is gonna catch the wind. So we'll see what it does to my fuel mileage, and we'll kind of see what it does. I'm heading, towards the storm. Usually every storm comes pretty much from the west. I'm driving west, so I think it was supposed to move in around 5 o'clock to me, so I'm not sure what time it's going to hit like the Sterling, Illinois area, but it might be like 3:34. So, but I think I'll still make drop before that time frame. So when I was kind of calculating it all, I think I'll be home around 4. So 4 or 5 o'clock. So I'm hoping to still completely beat this terrible weather, but we'll see what happens. They're calling for definitely like southwest is going to get it worse, like St. Louis area, which I guess it's probably a good thing that I'm not going down to Missouri, because that area that I would have been delivering to this weekend is really supposed to get hit like the hardest. So yeah, it was probably a terrible idea to try to do that. I probably would have beat the bad weather, but I would have been there for the bad weather, which I don't know, probably would have been hunkered down in the hotel, because they're calling for tornadoes and all kinds of crazy weather to be hitting, and that area was like in the red for all that. So I think I'll be driving into an area that's like in the orange, and then I live in like the yellow, but I think they're still calling for like, I don't know, 70-mile-an-hour winds by me. So all in all, it should be an interesting evening, interesting day tomorrow. And then so I think I finally kind of decided what I'm gonna do. I've got someone lined up to buy my work truck that I have for my business. It's a 1999 F250 with the V10 extended cab 8-foot bed, 2-wheel drive. It was a good truck for like when I had guys working for me. Like it looked good. Obviously, it was older, but for me, and it was a lot of it had to do with the pressure washer. Even though it was a decently expensive one, I think I paid like $4,000 for it. It wasn't great. Like it's pretty much like China built, and even it had like a 225 gallon tank. When it would get down to like halfway, it would stop pulling water, and I took it to a shop to try to figure out like why. They suggested putting like an extra pump on it to pull the water through, so that cost me like $700 to have installed. Never worked. They wouldn't let me return it, obviously. So I'm kind of just done with that setup because when I'm doing this big commercial work like I've got coming up early April, I cannot use the water on the buildings. They have a filling station, so I have to go to their public works department, fill up the tank, run it, and then when it runs out, go back and fill it up again. So when you do that, it takes like a half hour every time. By the time you get to the public works, go through security, fill it up. Luckily, they have like a fire hose, so it fills. Like, because at home, if I have, let's say, a 500-gallon tank, it's going to take like 2 hours to fill it. With their system, it's like a 5-minute fill. But all in all, by the time you get cleaned up, filled, back, set up, it's at least a half hour. And that's just not going to work again. Like, it took us way too long this last year to get this project done, and it cost me a lot of money in labor that was unnecessary, and it just doesn't look good when it takes longer than it should. So I've got that set up. I'm taking an L on it because I think I paid like $4,500 for the truck and like $4,000 for the pressure washer, and I'm selling it all for like $5,500. But it's used now. It's a year old. The truck's got more miles on it. I think I bought it with like 180. It's at like almost 200 now. And truck prices are not where they were a year ago, like used truck prices. So a year ago, for $5,000, it was almost impossible to find anything halfway decent. Now I'm seeing, older pickup trucks, gassers popping up for, $4,000 or $5,000 all over the place. So I'm gonna buy a trailer setup because my other issues, I need to put it in my garage because I used to park it in my driveway. Well, I had a different house and I had a really nice long driveway with a gate that I could back my trailers into. At one point I had 2 work trailers back there, and I can close the gate, nobody could see it. We moved to, that house was on a busier road, didn't really like being on the busy road. It was a smaller house, we needed something bigger, so we bought just a couple miles down the road a bigger house in a better location, quieter area. But I started putting my work trailer in the driveway, and one of my neighbors, I don't know who, but they called the village to complain, and I got a notice saying basically you can't have a business vehicle or trailer parked in your driveway. So they gave me like 2 weeks to get it out of there before they started fining me. So I ended up having to get a shop space, which in my area, everything is expensive right outside Chicago. Like, I mean, in my town, you can't find a house. Like, if it's $500,000, contractors are buying it and tearing it down and building a $2 million house. So, shop space was super hard to find, super expensive. I got one. I couldn't find anything in my immediate town for under like $5,000 a month. But I got one in a town, or 1 or 2 towns over, for like $1,400 a month, but it was small. It was 1,000 square feet at best. A couple bathrooms, no office space, no air conditioning, just heat. One overhead door, but there was a building pretty close, so it turned out I couldn't even get my trailer in there. So I ended up selling that, buying a flatbed truck with a setup on it at the time, so that it could get into the garage space. So I'm going to deal with that same issue. I got rid of my shop when I stepped out of the business, downsized, but it's going to become an issue again. So I'm going to buy something that'll fit in my garage that I can back in. So it's not my driveway, because I really don't want to get another shop at this point. Like, it was just so expensive between rent and utilities and everything. It's not bad when it's busy, but the few months that it's slow, it's not fun paying that extra $1,400-1,500 a month when no revenue is really coming in. So eventually I'll have to get back to the point where I get a shop space, but I'm hoping I got like another year before I have to worry about that. So I'm gonna get something that I can back into my garage, so I don't get fined or anything like that. So I decided, I'm selling my work setup, buying a new trailer setup that I'll pull with this truck when I'm working, and then now I'm gonna start saving money, because I would like to pay cash. I don't want to finance. I'm going to buy another truck that I can use for my business and RV transport. So my goal is to find something like that $15,000 to $20,000 range, older diesel that's clean, looks good, that I can kind of, but instead of a $50,000 truck or a $100,000 truck, it's a $20,000 truck that, I don't care if I put 500,000 miles on it. It doesn't owe me anything type of deal. And, once it's worn out, I can just replace it again. I'll have to talk to my dispatcher. I think I'll probably set it up where, like, if he's okay with it, I know insurance plays a factor, but I'll just keep both trucks on. So I can use either truck for RV transport, but I would like to have something primarily that I can just rack up the miles on and not really care about as much, and then keep this one nice for doing like family camping trips and stuff like that. But like I said, I want to do a cash thing, so I'll probably just, it'll be a little while before something like that happens. I had a UTV. I've got some videos on it, especially in the shorts. It was a 2024 Polaris RZR 1000 4-seater. It was a really cool machine. I just sold it. I wasn't using it. It was the worst probably investment I ever. You can't even call it an investment. It was the worst financial decision I probably ever made. I just bought it on a whim. It was about $30,000, and I used it 4 times over the last year, and I ended up just selling it for like $24,500. So basically cost me like, I don't know, close to $2,000 every single time I drove it. So it was, like I said, it was a cool machine, but I just wasn't using it. I think maybe at the point I'm at in my life, it was, I didn't really like getting dirty, I guess I should say. As stupid as that sounds. Like every time I went out, you're getting in the mud, you're getting covered in mud, and then you're driving home, like covered in mud, getting your truck all dirty, and then you've got hours of cleaning up a mess, and it's like, where does the mud go? And it was in my driveway, and I'm trying to clean up my driveway, and I didn't enjoy it like I thought I was. I'm not gonna say it wasn't fun, but I think for something like that, I would rather just rent, because then I can just give it back to the, pay the couple $100, drive for a day, and I don't have to worry about the cleanup, and the maintenance, and the storage, and everything that goes into that. So loss on it, but it frees up money that I can use to kind of put towards the business, put towards the truck, the trailer I need to get for work, stuff like that. The trailers are so expensive. Power washing trailers built, I'm probably looking to spend 15 to 20K for a full setup, but it's necessary. I'll make it back in the first month of work, so I gotta do it. But that's pretty much it for this video. That's my plan. Get a work trailer, start saving for another truck. I've been looking, I think that 15 to 20,000 range is where I need to be. So I'll probably do a video once I pick this trailer up. Like I said, I think it's a 37-foot travel trailer, if I'm thinking of the model right. Pretty sure I pulled one a week or two ago. And get that delivered, get home before this crappy weather moves in. Alright, so we're gonna dub this the trip from hell, maybe. So far, I'd say one of the worst trips I've had. Trying to get out of Elkhart, really, or Middlebury. So I got there, went through security, got my paperwork, found the trailer real easily. Getting it hooked up and go to plug in the 7-way power cord, and it won't reach my truck. So I basically fouled it back to where it comes comes out of the camper, and tried to like retrieve as much slack as I could from the power cord, and it still was the best I could get. It was a good like 6 inches, maybe 4 inches short of plugging into the truck. And I figured, even if I could somehow find a way to get this thing to plug into the truck, as soon as I take a turn, it's gonna rip out. So I couldn't get a hold of my dispatcher right away, because I was gonna see, should I just grab a different trailer? So I went up to security, which is really our only point of contact, and I told them, I said, hey, the power cord was made too short on this trailer, and they said that they're told to tell us that it's our truck if the power cord is too short, which doesn't make a lot of sense, because I pull a ton of Coachmans, like, I've noticed lately that some of the power cords are like shorter than others, but I can get them to work. I pull a little bit of slack, and it gets to where it needs to go. But and then sometimes they're like, I had one a few weeks back that was so long I had to zip tie it up so it wouldn't scrape on the ground. But I think that one was maybe a Jayco. But either way, so I told them, I said, well, I'm gonna see what I can do about getting like an extension. So I called some of the local trailer places. I was trying not to go back to Elkhart because it's 20 minutes. So there was a place right in town. I think it was like Weezer's Trailers or something. I gotta look and see. It was 2 miles from Coachman. I believe it started with a W. I'll try to attach a picture of their Google, so that if anybody's looking for stuff. They were awesome, by the way. Like, I called the lady, I called, the lady answered, she said, and I told her I needed something, and she was like, well, we don't sell them, but we can make one for you. And I thought, well, okay, like, how fast can you make it? And she said, well, by the end of the day, we could have something made up for you. I just told her, I said, that's not going to work for me, because I'm trying to pick up this camper now and get out of here. She went and talked to the service tech, and he was working on some trailers, but he said he could stop and make a cord for me. So I told her, I said, I'll be there in 5 minutes. Got there, super nice people. Everybody I dealt with there, the tech, the 3 other people in the office, like, we kind of sat there and BS'd while we were waiting for the cord to be made. I lost a good I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour dealing with this cord, trying to make it work at first and not get enough length, and then driving out to that place, getting it, and then driving back. But they were great. It was like $30. I got a foot-long extension cord made. I figured it's probably not a bad idea to have it anyway. Just sucks that I had to go that route. But like I said, they were great to deal with, really nice people. If you need anything, definitely recommend seeing them. They could have told me no, sorry. I really don't feel like they made any money, because I think the sign on the wall said their service tech charges like $125 an hour if you're getting service done, plus the parts and stuff, and they only charged me, it was like $26. So they were really just helping me out. They weren't really making any money, and I was at the mercy of them. If they would have said $100, that was $100. So then I get back to the camper, get it plugged in, and the tongue jack won't work off my 7-way plug on my truck. I don't know what it is about this one certain jack that they use. It won't power off my truck. All the other ones will power. I don't know if it's just because this is such a big camper and the amount of juice that it needs. But I've dealt with this jack before. It will not power off my truck. So usually I would use my battery that I use for the breakaway, but it's one of the little batteries from Dan's hitch, and they're not designed to power the tongue jack. They're just designed for the breakaway cable. So that's the only battery I had on me. I hooked it up to get it, and it started to power, and then it said not enough power, errored out. So then I was having trouble. I would start it would work for a second, and I could see the voltage dropping fast, so it was sucking the life out of the battery I had. And it got down to like 9.9 volts, and it wouldn't even turn on. So I'm like, all right. So I jacked it up with my floor jack, dropped it onto the hitch. I only had about 2 inches of clearance with the base plate of the tongue jack, and I knew that wasn't gonna work, because I was like, this is probably a $1,500 jack system. I'm gonna rip it off going over a bump. But I wanted to get out of there. I didn't want to find another place to get a battery and then come back again. All while I'm trying to beat this weather that we're about to get coming in, and it's like the worst possible day for this to happen. But so I just roll with it, get through security. I didn't know if they were going to stop me because the tongue jack was so low. I got out, got on the road, stopped at Dan's hitch, and I bought a full-size battery from them just to power I have a battery box that I bought that I wasn't using on a full-size one. I just didn't want to mess with it right now, so I left the little one hooked up for the breakaway, and I used the full-size one to power the battery and then put it in the back of my truck. But it's now 12:45 Chicago time. I got to, I got to Middlebury at 9:55 Chicago time. Usually takes me a half hour to hook up and get on the road. So I should have been on the road, like, worst case scenario, 10:30. It's 12:45. So 2 and 3/4 hours to get this trailer and get moving. And I'm probably most certainly gonna hit, it's super freaking windy already. It's like 30-mile-an-hour gusts right now. This trailer's almost 39 feet long, so I'm definitely feeling those gusts. And it's like 9,200 pounds or something like that. 38 foot something, and I think over 9,200 pounds. So yeah, like I said, I can feel the gusts. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get good enough mile per gallon to at least get to my destination and drop. Got 73% fuel right now. think like 230 miles to go. I know that if I was pulling without the wind and maybe a slightly smaller trailer, like a 32 footer, I would make it no problem. I'm just worried that with the wind and the size of this trailer, that I'm gonna be burning through the fuel pretty quickly. The reason I don't want to have to stop is because I don't want to waste any more time getting to the destination, because I want to get there, get this thing unhooked, so that I'm not dealing with the wind that's gonna come. Like, as bad as 30 mile an hour gusts are, they're calling for 70, 80 mile an hour gusts. So really want to get this thing unhooked and get headed back home. And I think because I am headed, right now I'm headed like northwest, I'm going to be going straight west. I'm probably going to be going directly into the wind, which, as far as like keeping the trailer straight, will help me, but it's going to kill my mile per gallon. I would say if I'm going into even a 30 mile an hour headwind, I'm probably going to be getting single digits gas mileage wise with this trailer. So not good. I spent $115 on a battery, $30 basically on an extension. So and then I had to pay an extra toll to get off an Elkhart and get back on. So I'm probably an extra $150 into this trip that I normally wouldn't spend on a load that's paying $460. So I probably honestly would have been better off just staying home today. But it is what it is. We'll get it done. Not great on the profits for this load, we'll say that much, by the time I pay for fuel and tolls and all this other crap that I had to buy. I'll be happy if I can keep $200 in my pocket. But you gotta, sometimes that's what happens, and it can always be worse. So lost a little bit of time, spent a little bit of money, got this trailer hooked up. I was very I don't know what the word, detailed in my inspection though on the sheet, and I took a picture and I sent it to the dealership that I'm bringing it to, so that I don't get blamed for anything, because the power cord is too short. I stand on that. I don't care if they say it was my truck. It's too short. Someone's gonna have to repair that. I don't see how anybody could try to put that back on the transport company or the driver, but I made sure that was on there. There was some insulation hanging down a little bit, made sure that was written up on there. It has 3 slides. 2 of the 3 slides, the trim is bowed out. Put that on there. Just want to make sure I cover everything, because I'm getting the feeling that this trailer made it through production rather fast. Is a nice way to put that. The battery, however, the battery connectors, the solar connection, the tongue jack connector, like wires, all that are too long. Like, there's probably 2 to 3 extra feet of wire on all that. I ended up having to zip tie it up and try to make it look as nice as I can, but also just didn't want anything dragging on the ground. The breakaway cable's too short. I've been running into that a lot with Coachmen lately. Normally I hook the breakaway up underneath my truck. I have a carabiner up in there, because it can't be hooked to the same place as the safety chains per DOT. So I hook it up there, but it won't reach there. This has been a common thing with these Coachmen. So I basically run a lock to my hitch, and that's where I run the breakaway cable to, because that's all it'll reach. It barely gets past the tongue of the trailer, let's just say that. So definitely some issues lately with the Coachmans, but I just try to be as detailed as I can, so that nothing can come back on us as a company or as a driver. Yeah, so we'll see. If the wind gets too out of hand, I'll have to pull over, I guess. I know there's no way I can deliver this if the wind starts kicking up past 50. I've done a couple deliveries, 50 mile an hour, 51. I think 51 is the highest I've seen on gusts, and I had that twice, 51 mile an hour winds, and one of those times is when I saw the semi got blown over. Now they're running empty trailers usually when you see them blown over like that, but it's not like these campers are super heavy. Like they can definitely go over. I've seen pictures on Facebook groups of campers toppled over, and a lot of those guys are in dualies. I'm not in a dually. I'm in a single wheel, so you know the wind isn't affecting them as much as it is me. But like I said, if it starts approaching that 50 mile, I don't even think I would push it to 50 with this trailer being the size it is. If it gets to that point where it's about 50 and I'm feeling it hard, I'm gonna have to pull over. Looks like the wind is supposed to stick around until tomorrow afternoon, so it would really, really suck if I have to pull over and wait till tomorrow afternoon for a really low paying load. But it is what it is. Got to be safe. Got to get this trailer to its destination. With that, all three of my loads this week have been kind of shorter loads, so not going to be a great pay week, but it's going to be a rough couple of months here, just because, or not, yeah, I guess, I don't know, but like between this week, probably only getting the 3 short loads in. Next week, I'm probably only getting 3 because I got that training event I got to go to. And then I think the following week at some point I leave for Florida, so that'll be another short one. And then it probably drags into one more week where it'll be short because I'm still in Florida. And then come middle April, going back to Florida. So March, April, probably going to be a little bit less runs for me, but for a good reason, because I'll be on vacation and stuff, so that's fine. But just trying to I'm glad I ran the 5 loads last week, because and in my previous videos, like when I was doing a video on the 5th load of the week and all that, like my whole reasoning for that was, and I had mentioned in the video that I don't know when I'm going to be able to run 4 or 5 loads sometimes. So when I have the opportunity to run 4 in that one week where I could run 5, I have to take those opportunities, because some of my weeks, I'm sure I'm going to end up with a week where I can only do 2 eventually. Like, it's just when you've got young kids and you throw in some other stuff like kid being sick and school events and vacations, things like that, it just plays into being able to get these runs in. So it's going to be a long day for me for this load, I guess, because of the time that it took to get this load going. It should have been like a 9-hour day, but I'm probably going to be at closer to 12. So we'll see. Once I get this thing dropped, I'll be able to get a better idea of how long this load took me. So that's it for this video for now. Hopefully it didn't come off as complaining too much. I guess more of like a venting, but it's part of the job. So keep rolling, get this thing delivered, get it unhooked, get home safe. Alright, I got this Coachman Catalina. The wiring is all jacked up. Power cord wasn't long enough. I had to go get a extender made at a trailer store nearby. Had to zip tie all the wiring. Tongue jack I cannot get to operate properly. It was working, and then now it's not. Put the battery on. It's got a piece of, I don't know if it's insulation or what, hanging there. Goes out a little bit on the sides of the trailer, where the slides are. And then it is 9,215 pounds, 38 foot 4 inches. So yeah, it's late. I've lost a few hours now just trying to get going here, but on the road now, so gonna try to get up to Sterling. But it is, now I'm going to be dealing probably with the wind that I didn't want to do. Okay, got that trailer dropped off. It definitely got windy. It was a fun couple hours. Or really, since I left Indiana, it was 30 plus mile an hour winds. It says 38 here, but it feels much worse than that. Just, I think the open cornfields, as you can see in the video, just don't do it any justice. Like, it was rough, and that was a big trailer, 38 feet or whatever it is, 9,200 pounds. It was pretty decent sized. You can see a lot of, like, I don't know if you see them in the video, but there's a lot of trucks that are driving with their flashers on slow, a lot of trucks pulled over. It's just that it's only going to get worse too. So I thought about like what I would have to do, do I pull over? But I really didn't want to get stuck with that trailer. Like, I could have brought it home, which really would only have saved me like an hour and a half. But I could have brought it home and then delivered it like Sunday. But I didn't want to have the trailer in my possession for the weekend with the storm coming in. Like, who knows what's going to happen when the winds kick up to 70 or so, possibly 80. Like, what if a tree falls on it or something? I didn't want to take that chance. I just wanted to get it delivered. So they inspected it. Everything's good. Like I said, I made note. I sent a picture of my checkout sheet at Coachman to the dealership to let them know, like, hey, I've got a short extension cord. There's a few issues here and there. Like, I just wanted to be transparent so that they know what's coming to them. I'm pretty sure that unit's sold because it was a hot unit, so meaning they wanted it right away. So yeah, but we got it delivered. Definitely windy. Still windy. Like, even just driving like this, it's rough. Like, but yeah, I'll get home. I'm trying to decide if I want to stop and get fuel or not, because I can make it, but probably my gas light will be on when I get home. I kind of just want to get home because it's going to be 11 hours, basically, a little less. I guess right around 11 for this load that I normally would budget like 9 to 10 for. So, yeah, this should really be a 9-hour load, because it took me 2 hours, 45 minutes to get it all situated earlier, when normally I'm in and out in less than a half hour. So, yeah, so I mean, I would have been home an hour ago, basically. But instead I got hour and 15-minute drive. But it is what it is. Should be it for the week. I'll probably do a video for the weekly numbers. It's not going to be great, so just letting people know what you make doing 3 shorter runs in a week. I am going to take out the extra money I had to spend today on stuff, so not a super profitable load. Luckily, I was able to make it all the way there on the tank, and I still had a quarter of a tank when I got there, so that was helpful. Because I filled up yesterday in southern Wisconsin, so I was able to make it that 100 miles or so back to my house, and then it's like about 140 to Coachman from my house, and then I made it all the way out here. So, which about 240 or so, or 230 probably. So, because I'm at 480 miles now, 483 miles now on my tank with 23% left. So, not too bad considering the wind and the trailer and stuff like that. I'll take it. I ended up with around 12 miles a gallon. But it's like 80 degrees, which is crazy. That's why the storm's moving in, because it's like 30 something degrees warmer than it should be this time of year here. So, yeah, that's it for this video. Not a fun one today, but we got it done. Move on to the next one. That's, if you like what you're seeing, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave me a comment. I'll get back to you.